Hello, everybody, and welcome back to They Are Billions. So, my friend Will over here wants to continue his talk about Civ 5, and I'm just going to continue playing in the background and then commentating on important things. But currently, not much has been happening. We've just been clearing out. It's been a very easy map so far. Very open and choke points too. It's probably the easiest map I've ever played on.
The last episode, we wrapped up with me discussing how promotions worked in Civ 5, and I never really got around to the part I hated on, and that's the fact that you could only gain 2 promotions off of barbarians, and you couldn't go past that. And I found that to be really, really stupid, because the only way you could get your military units to go further than that is by building actual buildings, for lack of a better term, um, that gave your units experience once they were built in whatever city they were built in, if they had that building in it, and going to war with other civs. And very early in the days that I played Civ 5, much like most other people, I would imagine, I was very warmongering.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
What?
Whoa!
Are those zombies?
Well, this is why I want to build a wall here, and then I was being stupid and never got around to it. So when's my next wood shipment coming in? Because this is where it's going to start getting, problematic, to say the least. They're just fucking bum rushing.
Tia. No, I'm just kidding.
Let me see if I can distract them for a minute until I get some more wood. Oh man. Oh, they're gonna die. Don't die. Don't die. Don't die. I like you, veterans. You're very nice. Where's that wood? You gotta be kidding me. Ah! All right. Someone's gonna die. Who's gonna be?
Gotcha. Roger that. Bow and arrows are ready.
Okay, we got wood. All right. Time to stop panicking. Start panicking again. I don't have enough wood.
This better be good. Okay, let's do this.
So that's what I would like to call a mini horde. They usually don't start coming until after the first regular horde, which we haven't seen yet. So basically they're just a couple zombies where alone, if you have a wall there, you have a troop behind your wall, not a problem. If you don't have a wall there, and you weren't paying attention, it wasn't defended, you just had one unit defending a pathway, they would walk straight through and steamroll you until it was too late for you to do anything about it. They're probably going to bring down this wall because it gains health as it builds. Which is kind of sucky. I'm not sure, we might hold it. No, that's close. Oh, shit. Okay. More distraction time. Oh no, not the veteran! Don't kill the veteran!
I hope you're not wasting my time.
Kill the weak one. Oh god, this is not
Yes,
going well.
tell me. But be
This is
quick.
not going well at all.
Okay. But it's
This
gonna
was a
cost
very
you double.
rookie
My bow
mistake.
and arrows are ready. Okay.
Where's Big Boy Bob when I need him?
Yeah, I was wondering that. Where is the hero?
I don't think I have unlocked him yet. Or something.
This better be good.
Alright. That should be fine now. Oh, I did have more rangers ready. Well,
Great.
cool.
They are trying to break through.
So, there's not much left to do because the entire research tab isn't here. So, the only things I have left to do is get more food, more colonists, try getting that requirement done. And build walls. So, that's pretty much what I'm doing now. But that was the last wall I needed to have my territory completely defended from all sides. So that's at least one upside. Oh man, one short. Alright, let's see how it's
Walls are
going.
under attack.
How's that wall holding out? Alright. Anyway, you were talking about Civ
Our
5.
defenses are being attacked.
And promotions and lack thereof when you fought barbarians. My whole thing was that
They are
you're fighting barbarians, your units are still fighting, gaining combat experience. It's not like you're just walking in with AKs and massacring people with clubs. You're fighting people who have, if not equivalent, just slightly lower tier of technology than you do, especially in the late game.
What? Great idea.
So I never really found a reason as to why we, lose XP completely when we fought things with units that already had 2 levels on them. So this is the reason I don't get achievements in Civ 5 anymore. You can only get achievements in single player and multiplayer games, but you cannot have mods enabled. And you actually can enable mods in multiplayer, but it requires like Notepad++ and all this like roundabout stuff. You can't just go into the settings and enable mods like any normal game. But single player mods, for example, the Unlimited XP with Barbarians mod.
My bow and arrows are ready.
What the hell is it called? They prevent you from getting XP. And it's irritating, but I don't care about achievements that much. However, not being able to get the Spanish Inquisition achievement in Civ 5 is kind of a curse.
I've never tried for achievements in that game.
It's not that I really try for achievements, but I think my most recent one is I think the achievement's called Soma Tablet for Everyone, and it's make one city produce 100 happiness.
So, I'm not sure how this game works right now, but I think once you're successful with one city, you might be able to export resources to your other city with enough research. So I'm going to spam wood production too. I'm not sure though. Not sure at all. We're still clearing off the map up here.
train has arrived at the station. Units under attack.
My bow and arrows are ready.
Usually it doesn't go this easy. Like usually that panic that I had earlier happens 8 times
Our
over by
forces
now.
are in danger.
It's been a very slow game, to be honest, guys.
The favorite movie question was the last episode.
I never answered that.
No, I can
I'm
we
just
should
saying,
talk about
bro.
TV shows.
Our soldiers are in trouble.
Alright, what's going on here? Are you guys okay? Yeah.
My bow and arrows are ready.
I wanted to talk about TV shows like in general, but I started talking about the one that I watch nowadays, and then I described every character, etc., because my mind goes everywhere when I talk about stuff like this.
Attention.
In
Building,
terms of actual TV shows that I've watched as a whole,
building completed.
I've brought this up before to you specifically, not to like in videos and stuff.
Building completed.
Once Upon a Time was one I watched when it started coming out. That was like 7 years ago. Wait, no, 8 years ago. And it was good, but I kind of stopped for no reason whatsoever. And I watched it with my family. It wasn't like just like me alone. It was like one of those family shows you all sit down and watch together when the new episode comes out. And it was good, but we just kind of stopped.
My bow and arrows
So then, I found it on Netflix
you would
last year
great.
in like October,
Attention. Building completed.
October or November, somewhere around there. And it was a really great show. It's 7 seasons long, and I when I say it's a great show, or it was a great show, because it is over now. It stopped last year. Um, I don't mean every I don't mean every season. Um, the writing did significantly drop in quality a few episodes in. I don't know any particular like.
It's all weak zombies on this map too. I haven't seen any harpies yet or spitters.
Um, I don't know any specific reasons as to why like
Are you sure?
Attention.
uh,
Building completed.
like in the actual development team why it dropped. I don't know if like the writers changed or something, but I do know that the reason the writing dropped so severely in quality was because it introduced too many characters and it could never focus on one for more than a few episodes. There were so many characters introduced, like, for example, season 1, and they were only really present for that one season, or even worse yet, a character had an arc over the course of a couple episodes, and they were basically never seen again. And for those who don't know, Once Upon a Time,
Building
you know, kind of in the name, it is about all the fairy tale creatures owned by Disney getting transported to the modern world from a curse, because this is like an alternate ending thing where the evil queen from Snow White wins, and she's able to successfully take away everyone's happy ending.
Remember what I was talking about with mini hordes earlier?
Uh-huh.
Only things I can spawn off the map?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you just saw one. We're now currently trying to go wreck my
Roger
day.
that.
I don't like that. We don't like when they try to wreck my day.
Right.
Attention. Building completed.
So season 1, or maybe no, season 1 was fantastic. It was amazing. I loved it so much. Season 2 was also really good. It had a couple strange plot holes, or like one that I can really remember, or like stuff that just kind of happened without explanation. But the trend of characters getting introduced, like, and then just being like dropped off the face of the earth, that was always a thing. For example, the story of the Seven Dwarves, specifically Grumpy, was expanded upon in season 1, but like I said, it just kind of stopped halfway through.
Oh, more.
And
Yes.
right around season 4, which is pretty early for a show that only has 7 seasons.
Yes. Tell me.
I say only, like every show goes for 7 seasons.
Train has arrived at the station.
What do you want now?
Is when the writing quality began to drop. And then I stopped as a whole in season 6, right at the beginning. Because it got too ridiculous for me, and the plot holes were absolutely everywhere. And you know it's serious when I say the show got too ridiculous when it's about fairy tale creatures in the modern world in the first place. And it was able to captivate me for that long. Right, but yeah, the show was just out there in terms of, like, writing. The plot holes were everywhere, and they took qualities of really important characters and either changed them completely, or they changed how they worked, basically. And a good example of this, I brought this up months ago with Brendan here. My favorite character on the show, Rumpelstiltskin, played by Robert Carlyle, fantastic actor, one of my favorites of all time. He's better known for his role as Begbie in both Trainspotting movies, which were also really good.
Attention. Building
And also as whoever he played in The Full Monty. That was a good comedy. His whole thing was that his main character flaw was he was a coward who craved power because he feared failure, and he feared being too weak. And this provided an amazing character story because he was always
Gonna cost you double.
attempting, I should say, to be the best man he could be for his wife, and it 9 times out of 10 he failed because of his craving for power. He would never settle for less. He needed everything to be perfect in his life. But and his character, just as a whole, was developed very, very well. His background was given a lot of flavor. My throat's getting dry. But later on in the series, they kept trying to go into the past, but they would retell one singular event, and every time they told it through the writing, it changed how the event happened. And it made for significant plot holes, and it was really bad. And on top of that, in season 6, they decide to flesh out a character that has been mentioned since season 1 or 2, but has never actually appeared, or had not appeared in the series. And it turns out that this is kind of a spoiler, even though the series is already over. Rumpelstiltskin was never flawed of his own volition. It turns out he was like cursed before his birth, and he was destined to always make the wrong choice. But it really kills the character when it turns out that he has no free will of his own. So I stopped watching. That wasn't the only reason I stopped watching, obviously.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I finally found the other end of the train track.
Season 7 was a complete mess from what I read.
Great.
Character death. That was another reason I stopped watching. Character death was basically null and void. If a character died, it was basically a coin flip chance they were going to come back to life in the next episode for no reason. They changed. This is just something I'm not even going to go into depth about. They changed how magic worked. How magic worked, I should say. At the beginning of the series, it was just magic that could be used for good or evil, and depending on how you used it, it would basically corrupt your heart. And like, the more you use it for evil, the more you would be likely to use it for evil because you knew the power of it. But then later on in the series, it was, actually there's light and dark magic, not light that can be used for, magic that can be used for light or darkness. I'm completely rambling at this point. And there was, there were certain laws, such as traveling between dimensions, for example, the real world and the fantasy world, that was supposed to be incredibly hard to do. But by the time of the second or third season, the characters just kind of do it willy-nilly, just for no apparent reason. And I won't go into all the details of like why that's super important, but basically, if I'm not going to go super detailed about it, the first season was explaining why it was hard to get to the modern world, and why basically this was their only chance. The second season introduced an exception to the rule, but it was a very limited exception. It was a finite, like, exception rule, basically. And then seasons, like, 3 through 5 that I watched, they just kind of traveled to hell for no reason. They were just able to do that.
I don't know if I can actually get power across this bridge.
So the writing got ridiculous. Other shows I watched were Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is one of
Okay.
probably my favorite show.
Great.
I've never actually seen it.
It was really, really good. It went for 5 seasons, which is all it really needed. I'm glad it stopped after 5 because I feel like if it dragged on for longer, like it was never bad. Breaking Bad was never like poorly written in terms of like just the stories of the episodes. But if it wanted to go on for longer, it probably would have dropped in quality. But it didn't. It was really good. Um, yeah, everyone knows the plot to Breaking Bad at this point, so I won't go into that.
Yes, tell me. But be quick. Are you sure?
Trying to think of what else
Faster than my
I've
bow.
watched. My family watches Blue Bloods, and I've seen a couple episodes from that. I say a couple, but I've seen a few. I haven't watched a lot of it like recently. But I enjoy it.
So currently what I'm doing is the same thing as before. I'm just trying to place as many houses and stuff down, trying to get as many people in here because I have a requirement of 400, which is a lot. An issue I ran into is I don't think I can get power across this bridge, and I'm currently going to start building walls up here. But if I can't get power across this bridge, that means when the final horde's going to come, I'm going to need to defend that bridge heavy. And because I can't research stuff, I'm stuck with a level 1 unit of a ranger. So, very interesting stuff going on. Very interesting.
And we still have no idea if he can even use the hero.
I can, I think, it's just not on regular maps. Like, that's not what he's for. He's for exploring. Alright, let's try and get a wall going on up here. Walls for days. That was not symmetrical. Someone's gonna hate me for that.
The train has arrived at the station.
You know, this computer's getting hot on my lap. After this episode, do you want to make cookie brownies?
Yes, I do.
You want to record that and also post it to YouTube?
Obviously.
Building completed.
Well, let's try not to get our faces. Someone has to hold the camera facing at the food when we smack an eggplant in the counter.
Just get my giant stomach in so they know how fat I am. And they know you're the skinny one. If that wasn't obvious from me eating cheese throughout the entire episode.
Yeah, no, I cannot get power across that bridge. Alright. So, I'm gonna have to start doing, where's the first one of these I can build? There. Let's just...
I wasn't looking what just happened.
I just placed 4 gates in a row.
Fantastic.
Extra protection. I'm really wondering how I'm out of wood right now, considering I have like 8.5 million sawmills going.
Because you keep spending it.
What?
And that was the sound of me dropping onto the couch, which probably is broke.
Yeah, don't break my mother's couch. That would be terrible.
Are you sure?
Can I just... Not because it's helpful, but just because I want to. I mean, it will slow them down. It will. But I don't know if we'll actually be able to get archers in here to shoot them.
Building completed.
This better be good. Whatever you say, as long as you pay me. My bow and arrows are ready.
Yeah, this is a very slow episode. Not a lot happening. I guess it's just the first episode spent to teach people how to play. Not meant to kick their ass. And I'm out of food, which is distressful, because I think I've eaten all the food on the map.
Isn't that a renewable resource?
Well, yes. But, as in, I'm currently harvesting food from all the areas I can possibly harvest from. Meaning that, if I can't get enough food, then I won't be able to win the game. Because I won't be able to get enough of a population. But, this first map seems pretty boring so far. Alright, so that should be a little more food incoming. Leave that there, leave that there, leave that there. Tesla Tower's done up here. Let's build my final wall on this side of the map. So if you're asking why I'm placing gates out of the side, they have 3 times the health as a normal wall, but they're also 3 times as large. They take 3 times as long to build, 3 times as long to repair. Now, all in all, that sounds like it would be just as good, but actually, if you have them dead center, whereas one wall will be getting hit by one zombie, and then that zombie dies, and it takes a second for the next zombie to move up and start hitting it, a gate can be getting hit by about 5 or 6 at a time, whereas regular wall can only be getting by 2 or 3, to be honest. So all in all, gates die slightly quicker than regular walls, and if a zombie is directly following your character, or if your character gets stuck in a gate, zombies can sometimes enter, which is like the worst thing to happen, getting the gate stuck open.
What's up? Any infected around?
How do you repair things?
There's just a repair button over here, which will repair anything that's damaged, or you can do it manually.
Interesting. How do you heal units?
They'll heal slowly over time. They'll heal slowly over time. I think if they're moving, they'll still heal. But it's very slow. But I mean, these guys aren't going to get hit in a million years, so it doesn't really matter.
My bow and
Rangers
arrows
arrived at the
are ready.
station.
Some more rangers coming out. Let me finish up this wall up here, and then we can just kind of forget about this area. Well, actually, I might be able to get another layer of wall on here, which would be smart. Yeah, that's all I can get.
A new task.
Make sure I have a constant influx of new soldiers coming in. But yeah, if you watch any of my other videos, you know that there's a million more things to this game. It's the first level, so they're making it pretty easy. What do I want to do now? Probably want to get that house. And I probably want to protect this housing area too. So if each tent provides 4 colonists, and I need 52 more, 52 divided by 4 is what, Will?
I'm not good at math.
12, 13. 13 more tents. Okay, I can count that out. 1, 2,
The timer has not gone off yet, but it's going to be soon.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
Good
14,
measure.
15, 16. For good measure, we'll do that. But that should complete that requirement of this game. So the requirements were to win, clear all zombies off the map, survive the final horde, which comes in 3 days, and build get 400 colonists were the victory conditions. So I've completed most of these. Now I'm working on clearing every zombie off the map,
What's up? Any infected
but that
around?
honestly doesn't matter because no matter what at the end, well, why aren't they moving?
More orders.
No matter what at the end, every zombie will swarm towards the town center.
Yep.
But having them cleared off just means there's slightly less zombies in that final horde. That's all for this episode, guys. So I will see you in the next.